Next, let's introduce the second major cycle among the four major cycles. The sales and distribution cycle. SD, sales distribution. The departments involved in this cycle are 1. Sales. 2. PMC, PPIC. 3. Warehouse. And 4. Shipping. Personnel in these roles will participate in the operations of this cycle. The ERP modules used are: the first one is the sales order module. The second one is the export module, export system. And the third one is the accounts receivable module, account receivable. These three modules perform four main tasks. They are: 1. Forecasting, sales forecast. 2. Placing sales order, creating sales orders. 3. Shipping, order shipment. And the last one is create AR sheet. Generating accounts receivable. Performing these four tasks will use in the ERP system. Which programs? We can see from this table the main tasks mentioned just now, and these four tasks will respectively use in this list the related programs. Let's quickly browse. The first block is related to the programs used for creating sales forecasts. The second block, this block contains programs related to entering sales orders. The third block, the programs used are related to shipping operations. The last block, the programs in the fourth block, are used to generate accounts receivable and related data. Okay, next, we will use a flowchart to introduce the SD cycles. Related processes and operational content. First, we see in the sales order module, suppose today we have a new customer. In the ERP system, we must first create the basic data for this new customer. We will use Create Customer Data, this program, to put the new customer's basic data into the system. After having the customer's basic data, next we need to establish this customer's potential purchase from our company of products. Base price. We need to use Create Customer Product Price, this program, to establish the base price of products sold to this customer. Finally, quote the customer. Create quotation. After quoting the customer, if the customer accepts our quotation, they will place a purchase order with us. Sales personnel will then use the Create Sales Order program to enter the purchase order received from the customer into the system as a sales order, so that production planning knows which products need to be produced to ensure materials are available for work order production. The sales department must estimate the sales quantity for the coming months. The sales forecast must be entered into the ERP 3 to 4 months in advance, mainly to allow production planning and procurement to purchase materials in advance based on their lead times. LT. This ensures the factory has sufficient materials to start production upon receiving orders. Sales maintains the FCST forecast in the ERP system, using the Create Sales Forecast program to maintain the potential future sales quantities in the system. Based on this method, it drives production planning and related procurement departments to start the material purchasing process. Future sales orders. After being entered into the system, production planning then uses work orders to initiate the production process, turning raw materials into semi-finished and finished goods. Of course, including necessary quality inspection tasks during production, when the products required in the sales order have all been produced into finished goods and stored in the warehouse. Then, the sales department can begin arranging the order shipment process. Before shipping, the sales department must first confirm payment and transportation-related information. At this time, it connects to the export system, the shipping module, to continue with shipping matters before notifying relevant departments. To prepare for shipment, the sales unit will first check the payment status of the customer order. Confirmation is made whether it's full payment or a deposit required before shipment. After confirming there are no issues with the payment or deposit, the sales unit will then, in the export system, issue a shipping notice, shipping advice note. Using this program, create shipping notice, generate the shipping notice. Through the shipping notice, it triggers the warehouse staff, based on the content of the shipping notice, to go to the finished goods warehouse, to pick materials, prepare goods. These preparation tasks, after preparing the goods required for the order shipment, they can, based on the goods volume and weight, create the packing list and invoice for subsequent export use. After organizing the goods needed for shipment and preparing the documents, next, the ERP system will push this shipping notice to the sales order module. Then we continue to see the shipping notices. Shipping notice, shipping information will be passed to the sales order modules. Create shipping order program. Next, when the goods are picked up by the forwarder, after they are taken away, the warehouse staff will go into the ERP to deduct the inventory. In the Create Shipping Order program, you can use the data sent from the shipping notice to generate a shipping order. Through the shipping order, the items in the shipping notice have their inventory balance deducted. After the deduction, the ERP will push the related information to account receivable. This module, to generate accounts receivable. Next, we go to the accounts receivable module. In the accounts receivable module, we see the upper right part of the diagram. When the shipping order has been posted, inventory deducted. If the system is set to automatically close accounts, the shipping order can automatically generate the accounts receivable sheet. Alternatively, it can be done manually. To generate the accounts receivable sheet, this way, the accounts receivable can be generated in the system according to the payment schedule. Wait for the customer on a future date to pay for the goods. When the payment time arrives and the customer pays on schedule, the bank will receive a deposit. It sends a deposit notification to the finance staff. The finance staff forwards the deposit information to the sales unit. The sales department matches the order and the payment for verification and confirmation. After verification by the sales unit, confirming the customer's deposited amount and which order's payment it should clear, the sales department then fills out a payment slip. This payment slip is then provided to the responsible colleague in the finance department. The finance colleague, based on this payment slip, performs the clearing in Create Collect Order, carrying out the document and payment clearing operation. So, in the SD cycle, it's through the flow and procedures just explained. From customer master file creation, quoting the customer, entering the sales order, then the factory produces the required finished goods, inspection and warehousing, then through the shipping system, notify warehouse management, and shipping personnel to pick goods and prepare documents. Finally, our finished goods, according to the shipping date, are taken by the forwarder and delivered to the customer. Accounts receivable are generated and recorded in the system, awaiting collection, verification, and clearing. These are the related operations conducted within the SD cycle. Next, let's look at, within this process, which programs are used. Let's look at the program list. At the beginning, in the second block, we can see when a new customer comes in, we first need to create a master file for this customer. The program used is Create Customer Data. This program, the program code is COPMI01. This is a customized program. It has the capability, within the customer master file, to note customer-specific information for use by orders and work orders. Then, after having the customer master file, next, for this customer, for the products that might be sold, the base selling price is set. The program used for this pricing operation is Create Customer Product Pricing. This program uses offline paper-based approval. After paper approval, this program is used to input the approved product-based price into the system. Then, quote the customer. Here, it's necessary to create a quotation. Create quotation. The quotation here also goes through offline paper-based approval. After approval, the quotation is entered into the system. Having completed the above tasks, next, the sales unit must estimate the future sales quantity for this customer. Make an estimate. Therefore, the first block is used. The program function in the Create Forecast block. This customer's future sales quantity is maintained in the system. Therefore, the first one used is creating the forecast. Create Sales Forecast. This program, the program code is COPMI04. This is also a customized program. The main difference is that the program loosens the restriction for forecasts to be tied to a specific customer, along with some other related customizations. We won't elaborate further here. Using this program to create the sales forecast. However, this method, maintaining each product item by item, is a relatively inefficient approach. So, we will use two customized programs that allow us to perform batch input and batch closing operations. The two customized programs used, their main function is sales forecast, batch export and import. The program's name is Sales Forecast Import or Export. This program's code is COPAB01. The main function of this program is it can batch input the data that sales maintains in Excel all at once, entirely into the ERP system. At the same time, it can also download the existing forecast from the system to our Excel, serving as a draft for the sales unit to revise the next version of the forecast draft and the sales unit's forecast in each period, monthly. At the end, there might be a remaining forecast that hasn't been fully consumed by orders. For these expired forecasts, we must, in the ERP system, close out the remaining quantity. This way, the remaining quantity won't affect the next period's material requirements calculation. To meet this need, a program was customized that can perform batch closing for specified sales forecasts. The name of this program is Sales Forecast Batch Specified Closing Operation. The corresponding English name is sales forecast. Batch closing. The code for this program is COPAB02. Using this program allows the sales unit to batch close the specified sales forecast items part numbers with remaining quantities. After the forecast goes through LRP/MRP, it will drive production planning or procurement to arrange the production schedule or to purchase the required materials. Based on the delivery date on the purchase order, the supplier delivers the materials to the factory for acceptance inspection. When the sales unit receives the customer's purchase order, they will use the customer order creation operation, the Create Sales Order program, to input the purchase order from the customer into the system as a sales order. The program code is COPMI06. It's also a customized program. The customized content is fetching the customer's specific remarks from the customer master file and bringing them into the order. When the customer order is entered into the system, it will trigger production planning to arrange the production schedule or requisition the necessary raw materials. When the work order production is complete, the final output quantity may increase or decrease depending on the work order's production yield rate. Increase or decrease when the final quantity is higher than the estimate and the product is specific to the customer. Production planning will report the final quantity to the sales unit, allowing the sales unit to negotiate with the customer to increase the order quantity so that the excess quantity resulting from the high yield rate can also be shipped with that order, avoiding it becoming inventory. If the customer agrees to increase the quantity, sales will use the order change request creation operation to adjust the original order quantity. However, the work order yield rate might also be lower than the estimated quantity. When the yield rate is poor, a short shipment situation occurs. This is merged into the next production and shipment, and the original order also needs an order change operation. The code is COPMI07. So this part concerns operations related to entering and changing orders and the programs used. When the finished goods are completed or nearly completed and put into the warehouse, the sales unit will arrange shipment. At this time, the programs in the third block will be used for shipping. The shipping operation starts with the sales unit. First, payment is confirmed. If there are no issues with payment, next, forwarder information is confirmed. Once the forwarder is also confirmed, the sales unit will create a shipping notice. The shipping notice's English name is Create Shipping Notice. The program code is ESPI05. Using this program, list the items for shipment. A single shipping notice can combine items from multiple orders. Then, through the shipping notice update operation, English name, update shipping notice, program code ESPB01. The relevant shipping information is pushed to warehouse management and shipping personnel. When the warehouse staff receive the shipping notice, they, based on the content of the shipping notice, link the goods batch numbers, and then go pick the goods in the warehouse. After organizing, packing the goods, they can create the packing list required for shipment. After having the packing list, shipping personnel will also generate invoice. The above packing list and invoice are both created using Excel rather than through the system's standard programs. Next, in the shipping process, the forwarder, based on the time agreed upon with shipping personnel, comes to the factory premises to perform the goods pickup operation. When the goods on the shipping notice are taken away by the forwarder. The warehouse staff in the ERP create a shipping order. The program's English name is Create Shipping Order. The warehouse staff on this shipping order press Confirm. The inventory in the system will be deducted, and the shipping information will be passed to the Accounts Receivable module. The shipping order program's code is COPI08. After the goods are picked up, that customer will generate accounts receivable. Regarding accounts receivable, the related programs are in this last block. In the fourth block, this booking operation can use automatic closing or the manual closing function to create accounts receivable. After booking, we wait for the customer to make payment. When the customer pays, the sales unit confirms which order the payment should clear and fills out a payment slip for the finance department. Then, using the collection receipt creation operation, perform the clearing. The above covers the entire sales distribution cycles. List of programs used.